It is shaping up to be another interesting day in Ottawa. Moments ago, now independent MP Jane Philpott stood in the House of Commons on a point of privilege where she laid out her case that she and Jody Wilson-Raybould's dismissal from the Liberal caucus violated the law.
The Prime Minister stated at the April 2nd open meeting of the Liberal caucus and on national television that, quote, I have taken the decision to expel, quote, the honourable members from caucus. The Prime Minister added that he had met with me and the member for Vancouver-Granville to inform us of his decision. This confirms that we were expelled prior to the commencement of the Liberal caucus meeting.
All right, with more on this, I'm joined by the host of Power Play, Don Martin. Don, good morning to you. Exactly what's going on here with Dr. Philpott?
Yeah, I don't want to get too far into the parliamentary weeds on this one, but bottom line is there is an act that says this is the process for kicking an MP out of a caucus. And it basically says there has to be an application to the caucus signed by a certain number of MPs, and then there has to be a recorded vote. Clearly, in the case of Philpott and Wilson-Raybould, that was not done. The Prime Minister unilaterally said, you're gonzo, and that was that. Although they do refuse to say whether there's a recorded vote, and they do seem to suggest that caucus supported it, which may or may not be true, but it certainly doesn't look like that act was followed, and that's what Philpott was rising on. Now, we've talked to Rob Walsh, former law clerk for the House of Commons, and a man who knows all things about these parliamentary procedures, Marcia, and he basically says, look, inside a caucus, certain rules don't apply, including the Speaker has no right to rule that rules were not followed inside that caucus meeting. They're kind of a hodgepodge group. They get together. You don't have to be part of that caucus. So that's basically her complaints are groundless, at least in his view.
What does it tell us, though, about where her head is at?
Well, she's not going quietly into the independent backbenches. She's making sure that she believes that due process should be followed. Wilson-Raybould may or may not give a similar statement down the road, even possibly later today, but they're not happy with how they were treated. So they're going to make some noise, and that's not good news for Justin Trudeau, who's quickly trying to take a giant broom and sweep all this under the carpet. He's still going to face some pushback from them, and they are, as some polls show, phenomenally popular in their ridings. They could cakewalk to an election victory right now if they were running again. So he's got a force on the outside now instead of a problem on the inside.
Are we expected to hear from Jody Wilson-Raybould as well, Don?
That could be. I mean, they usually work as a tandem pair. So if the laws are of an objection to Jane Philpott, they will most certainly be one to Jody Wilson-Raybould as well. And then there's the other side, Marcia, this whole business about the libel suit that Trudeau's threatening today. He sort of changed his tune a little bit, and he said if Andrew Scheer stands up and says, yeah, I was kind of lying about that corruption thing, and apologizes for it, then the lawsuit threat will disappear. I would suggest to you we will have a 25 degrees Celsius sunny day in Ottawa today before that happens. We're not going to get a sunny 25 degree Celsius day in Ottawa today.
Wow. How Canadian of you making that weather analogy. Wow, Don.
It's so wretched here, Marcia. I just got to. It's front and center. All we got white behind me on Parliament Hill. It's crazy. What is this, April 9th?
Yeah.
This April Fool's joke just won't go away.
Yeah, I know. Eastern Canada, too, getting hit with it. All right, Don, before we start talking about the weather in detail, we better run along here. Thank you very much for that. You can watch Don on Power Play later today at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 Pacific.